With Year 5 Season 1 came some new weapons and gear. I decided to update my raid build with the St. Elmo's engine to see how it would perform by comparison to my Police M4. There were a couple of changes that I had to make to the build to accommodate some of the mods that the St. Elmo's engine has. Overall, I'm very pleased with how this build is performing. So let's get into it. Hey everyone, it's Agent Meat from Delta Tactical. So as I mentioned at the start of the video, we've included the St. Elmo's engine in my normal raid build. The build is exactly the same as what you've seen in previous videos. A few of the attributes have changed to accommodate the mods that St. Elmo's engine has. St. Elmo's engine itself, I've got it at Expertise 12. However, I have not re-rolled or recalibrated it at this point or optimized it. This is essentially how it dropped when I got the weapon. In a perfect world, this should have damage to targets out of cover. Part of the reason for leaving it untouched was I wanted to directly compare it to the Police M4 in terms of damage output in the range and to see how it felt in the field. The mods itself that St. Elmo's engine comes with give you 20% critical hit damage, 20% critical hit chance, and 20% weapon handling. That weapon handling is not something to be ignored because it decreases your reload speed while increasing your accuracy and stability. This weapon also has a 30-round magazine, which means that your total mag capacity is 70. Your ability to deal with adds in a raid as the DPS shooter is better with this weapon because you're spending more time shooting and less time reloading overall. As far as the rest of the build, the first thing we're going to talk about is the specialization. You'll notice that we're using Demolitionist. And that is for 3 specific reasons for the raids. You can ignore explosions once every 60 seconds, which is pretty big for personal survival. Most importantly, and one of the main reasons for doing this is everybody gets an additional 5% damage to targets out of cover. That, again, is a very important attribute to have as part of your raid team synergies. Lastly, the grenade launcher itself is used on Razorback as part of exposing its critical surfaces. So the build itself, we're running St. Elmo's engine, which we've already talked about. I'm also running stage left. You could run lefty in its place. It's entirely up to you, but you're using it for the perfect sledgehammer talent. There are certain bosses where you will be required to throw grenades at them to increase everybody's damage by 40% for 10 seconds. It also decreases their movement speed. So again, you're helping slow them down. You're helping everybody do additional damage to the bosses. This is very, very important for certain bosses. Lastly, I'm running a D5. The way this build was configured originally with a non-exotic assault rifle, this was the Regulus. I've switched it to a D50. I'm running Optimist. First piece of the build, Coyote's Mask. Crit chance, crit damage, and a crit damage mod. As a DPS player for running the raid, as many players as possible should run the Coyote's Mask. It's not a requirement, but they should, because these attributes of the talent can all proc simultaneously. So it's possible to have all 3 of these active simultaneously, depending on how many Coyote's Masks are in the game and the range at which they're engaging their targets. The rest of the build breaks down to 3 pieces of Providence, 1 piece of Grupo, and Fox's Prayers. So the 3-piece brand set bonus for Providence, you get 15% headshot damage, 10% crit hit chance, and 15% crit hit damage. This one has max weapon damage, crit hit damage, and this is the first of the 2 changes that I made to the build. This was originally crit chance. With St. Elmo's Engine's mods, I ended up over the cap of 60% crit hit chance. I got rid of crit chance here and put on weapon handling to decrease the reload speed, increase the accuracy and stability. This one also has perfect vigilance. It's the named Providence, the gift. The only difference between perfect vigilance and regular vigilance is how long the buff is disabled if you take damage. With perfect, it's 3 seconds. With regular vigilance, it's 4 seconds. If you don't have the named version and you're running regular vigilance here, it's the same amount of damage increase. It's just that it's disabled for slightly longer. Second piece of Providence is the chest piece. This one has weapon damage, and crit chance with a crit damage mod, and the talent is Obliterate. Gloves are the third piece of provenance. Weapon damage, crit damage, and again, I've rolled weapon handling in place of crit chance. That brings me down below the cap of maximum crit chance. Grupo piece is weapon damage, crit chance, and crit damage. And lastly, we've got the Fox's Prayers that are maxed out, and we've rolled on max crit damage. That's the build pieces. As far as the skills, Reviver Hive is pretty much a must. Your second skill is entirely up to you. I use the Crusader Shield initially, and then switch that out to either the turret or the Riot Foam. Stats for the build, we're at 58% crit chance. With the Police M4 and the way it was originally configured, I was at 60% crit chance. I'm now at 201.2% crit damage, and with the Police M4, again, the way it was originally configured, it was 197.5, I believe. Having said that, the Police M4 has damage to targets out of cover, so I'm losing I think it's 8% damage to targets out of cover. But I'm gaining reload speed. This one is down to 1.6 seconds, whereas the Police M4 is 2.1 seconds for the reload time. For armor, you're basically at min armor. There's no armor on kill, no armor regen. So you are squishy. Your job is to take down NPCs as rapidly as possible. In a raid, there's always a healer in the raids that I've participated in. So it's less important to have armor regen because the healer is going to be taking care of that for you. And that's the build in a nutshell. I was hoping to get some raid footage. It has not been possible. The footage you're going to see following this is Lincoln Memorial and Heroic with no global events activated. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you very much for watching. If you're new to the channel and you're liking the content, please consider subscribing. And for everybody, please engage with the video in one way, shape, or form because it does help the YouTube algorithm. A like, a share, a comment, they all help get the video out to a wider audience. It's Agent Meat signing off. Enjoy the gameplay footage and have a great week.
The memorial and remove the True Sons forces. If they maintain this outpost, the True Sons will be a direct threat to the campus.
Got a visual on additional hostiles in the memorial compound. They're moving south. There's a gate between you. It looks closed from here.
Agent, you'll need to find a way to open that gate. can't be all of them. Check the interior while I get Henry's people to maintain the perimeter. True Sons have turned the memorial into a base. There's an area beneath you with increased security. Isaac can't access data on this location. Stay alert. I don't know what you're walking into.
This no.
DC-62 detected.
Heads up. Isaac just ID'd those shells as chemical weapons. Can't afford to let the True Sons escape with those. You gotta find a way to close up that tunnel. According to the schematics Isaac pulled upstairs, we can lock that tunnel door from their control center. That should keep them from being able to transport those boarders loaded with DC-62. That should keep them from getting more of those mortars.
You think closing the tunnel was smart?
He's out of cover. Good work. Go on and head back up. The team from the campus has taken position inside the memorial.
If you hadn't stopped them, I know they would have used those weapons on us, and we would have ended up like Castle. I can't tell you how relieved I am to have you on our side. Thank you.
Today, we dealt a great blow to the True Sons infrastructure. We confiscated a massive cache of chemical weapons and eliminated their stronghold near the campus. You should be proud. You saved a lot of lives today.